again, everyone, and welcome inside another edition of the Adam Jones podcast. No, baseball isn't boring, and neither is this podcast. I'm Jerry Coleman. He's a former five-time All-Star on his way back to Baltimore this summer. We'll tell you more about that in our live podcast coming up at Soundstage July 27th. So you know one day where Adam's going to be around. But here we are in episode number 33, dedicated to Eddie Murray. We'll be joined by Orioles left fielder Austin Hayss. Looking forward to catching up with him and talking about what's going on with the Orioles right now, who are playing great baseball after our widely successful interview with Ravens head coach John Harbaugh. A lot of great feedback on that, and that followed Eric DaCosta. Show me another podcast in town or around the country that's had the head coach of the Ravens and the GM.
Now, Jerry.
Humble brag.
Jerry. Relax, Jerry.
50 minutes with the head coach? Come on. I don't know about that. But that's what we do here. We bring you unique conversations. And we're going to talk briefly about the NBA Finals. Finally, Adam isn't wearing his Lakers shirt. He's abandoned him, much like LeBron and AD abandoned the Western Conference Finals, an embarrassing finish. We'll also talk about the wave. One of us likes it, the other doesn't. We will debate that without the judge, who's dealing with a new baby boy. Congratulations to Judge Reggie Fugit. And we have a special letter for you, Adam.
I'm an uncle, baby.
You're an uncle. That's right. Uncle Adam will want to be a part of Socially Speaking because we have a letter that's dedicated solely towards him, and that will make this listener qualify for a Miss Shirley's gift card, as everyone does, for participating and rating our podcast in Socially Speaking. Well, let's begin by saying hello to our featured guest. He is the Orioles left fielder. He's Austin Hayss. Austin, always great to speak with you. You always seemingly have a smile on your face whenever I see you on or off the field. So my first question is, how long until that smile goes away and you become a jaded veteran like Adam did after a few years in the big leagues?
I don't know. I'm starting to get the wrinkles up around my eyes from smiling too much. So maybe you got to start cutting back on it. So I'll start looking too much older.
You're smiling now.
Yeah, I mean, smiling is good. Obviously, you said in a recent article that your main focus this year is to be on the field more. And obviously, it's shown. You're off to a absolute terrific start. Offense, defense, running the bases. I watch a lot of games. Your intangibles are just through the roof. Continue doing what you're doing. Don't worry. What has been the focus point? Has it been nutrition? Has it been body? Has it been the gym? What has been your focus point? Me, it was the pool. That really got me off my feet, that able to keep me on my feet. It's always little things that athletes need. What is your niche to this year's success and staying on the field between the lines?
It started last year in the off season. I talked to my agent, and he'd had this, a trainer that he had worked with, and a lot of his focus was basically like mobility, movement type exercises. So I know before I was a big weight room guy. I always wanted to lift heavy, and just started to get a little bit older, started to get tighter, started to have some soft tissue stuff show up. And I was like, all right, let's focus more on movement and stretching. So that's a big part of what I do every day, like an hour's worth of stuff every day of just making sure my body's moving the right way, and then making sure I'm communicating with the training staff. If I got something that I feel like it could turn into something, we attack it right away and just kind of knock it out before it becomes anything bigger than what it is, opposed to what I used to do, where it's like, no, I'm fine. I'll just, not say anything, and then it turns into something bigger than what it should be. So I think it's just a combination of those two things. Get on something early when I start feeling it, make sure I do a good job of taking care of it, and then just stretching, honestly, stretching a lot.
You think that's a hard part about, it's like stripping the ego. It's like, this is what I love to do. This is what I've been doing forever. And then, all right, look, this sports kicks my ass. Okay. It's exhausting. It's a lot of moving parts. I need the rest.
Yeah.
Is that like a humbling thing? They're like, okay, I'm not as limber as I used to be. We all have to take that into consideration and humble ourselves with that. But, do you think that just getting older, knowing yourself, it's like, okay, I got it.
Yeah, I think the year that I had to play the whole season, almost the whole season with the hernia stuff that I had going on, I couldn't lift, but I was doing a lot of stretching and mobility type exercises, and then just some core stuff. And I ended up having one of the best months I've ever had in September. And I think that kind of showed me too, oh, well, I don't need to be able to, squat 500 pounds and bench over 315 pounds. I can just make sure my body's moving the right way, make sure I'm explosive and I'm not losing a ton of weight during the season, make sure I'm eating good. If I'm doing those things, my body's going to be in a good place to be able to perform out there on the field. So I think I just started to realize that I can still hit the ball just as hard and far if I'm not bench pressing and doing cleans and stuff like that.
Well, you got Jenny. You got Jenny. So let's not talk about eating well. You don't eat well. Right. You eat fantastic 81 days out the year.
You fill everyone in on who Jenny is.
I brought her out here to Spain.
Best. Yeah, our food that we have in Baltimore is it's undefeated. That's one thing we've always done incredibly well is our taking care of our food.
Well, it makes you big and strong and also helps with your arm. Do you enjoy when players still try to test your arm and try and take that extra base and you're like Dikembe?
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather them just not try. I'd rather the third base coach or whoever hold them up, but I'm always ready to throw somebody out if they do want to go.
This new left field, obviously you were there when you came up. You were playing all three. You played all three, but you're primarily left fielder. The new adjustments. I mean, to me, you play it the best. Obviously, with your arm plays the best with it. When you can play a little deeper because you can make up because you got good carry. I played catch with you a few times. It's like the adjustment when like if a ball's hit, I got to keep going. Opposed to it was that me. I love center field there because it was 3 hard steps. I ain't got it.
Yeah.
There, it's like, nah, it's like Detroit. Keep going. How's that adjustment been? And I mean, again, you're the one who gets to play 81 games there and has the best point of view.
And it's almost, I'm not going to say it's impossible. It's almost impossible for a left-handed hitter to hit a home run to the left of the bullpen and to the right of the foul pole where it jets out just a little bit. That stretch of, straightaway left field to left center, it completely it just demoralizes left-handed hitters. Every time they crush a ball as good as they can possibly hit it, it's, 105 at 30 degrees. It's caught every time. So you're basically zapping all the left-handed hitters' power when you want to throw something out over the plate and make them go the other way. I mean, unless they're just trying to yank to hit homers to right center or right field, there's nothing they can do to left field unless they're just like taking a single over the infielder's head. So I think that's the biggest thing that I've noticed. The righties, there's righties can still hit homers over there, especially your big donkeys in the middle of the lineup. It's going to take some doubles and homers away, but I think the biggest difference it's made is with the left-handed hitters. I mean, you can see them when I'm running in after I catch the third out, and they're still standing at first base. Like, he was 30 feet away from the wall, and that's all I got. It's impossible.
That's golden, man. True. It is true. I mean, only lefty I think can even probably do it would be Shohei.
Ohtani, he put it to the test. Not this year, the year before. He hit one. It was 106 at 30-something, which, I mean, that's a poke. And I caught it at the front of the warning track. And the wall is 13 feet tall, so it had to go another, 18 feet.
At least 35 to 40 feet to get to, yeah.
Crazy.
As being a vet now, how is it? Obviously, right now, Ced's on the DL, or IL. I'm sorry, he'll be back soon. How has that been with him over the years? I mean, you guys you came up together. You guys have just known each other, been great friends throughout this whole process, getting your butts whooped. Now you guys are having success. How has it been with him, just on-field communication, but as men, off the field communication?
I mean, we've learned how to fail in the big leagues and, have to go back to the minor leagues, figure things out and come back up and have to prove yourself. And then we both kind of stuck at the same time. There was no, bouncing back and forth. It was like, all right, now's our time. We got to do it now or never. And we were able to do that seemingly at the same time. That's when he, really took over center field full time, and I just became whichever corner spot Hyder needed me to play. And we were just kind of learning our games in the big leagues. Like, what do we need to focus on that's going to give us the most success up here? And it was on a 100-loss team. It's tough to do. So we had some good conversations in the dugout when it was 11-0 in the third inning, and just like, come on, man, keep going. Every one of these at-bats matter. Like, just keep pushing, stay focused. So we pushed each other a lot, through those tough years where we were out of a lot of games. But now we've turned it around, and we're in a position where those conversations are a lot different. It's like, come on, right now, like, you're going to win the game right here. This is the bat that's going to do it for us. So it's a lot of fun to see, how far our games have come, but also the conversations we have with each other in the dugout, how different they are now because of the situation the team is in, it's a lot more fun now than it ever was before.
Stick around, more to come with Orioles left fielder Austin Hayss here on the Adam Jones Podcast. But first, a word from our dedicated, loyal sponsors.
The Adam Jones Podcast with Adam Jones and Jerry Coleman will be live, and you can be part of the audience and meet Adam for the first time since he played for the O's. It all goes down on Thursday, July 27th at 8 p.m. Doors open at 7, and tickets are limited, but now on sale. Go to BaltimoreSoundstage.com or Ticketmaster.com or call 410-244-0057 to be a part of the action. This will be the first time Adam and Jerry have done the podcast in the same spot, and who knows, maybe the last. So don't miss this unique night. The Adam Jones Podcast, live at Soundstage July 27th. See you there. The Adam Jones Podcast is brought to you by Be More Around Town. Be More Around Town is reminding you that football season is around the corner. # Purple Road Trip. Be More Around Town's trips are all-inclusive. Airfare, hotel parties, special guest tours, and more. They're all ready for the Ravens game in London. They have over 300 deposits. Just pack your bags, get your passport, and meet them at the airport. Besides London calling, Be More Around Town also has road trips for all away games. Arizona, LA, San Francisco, Jacksonville, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Cincy. Head to BeMoreAroundTown.com and find a # Purple Road Trip for you and your friends and family. BeMoreAroundTown.com. By our good friends at the Weinman Company. By Hollywood Casino Perryville. For some, it's a game of chance, but for you, it's a game of choice. Hollywood and Barstool are bringing you more ways to bet in Maryland. Catch all the action in person at Hollywood Casino Perryville at the Barstool Sportsbook, or bet online with the Barstool Sportsbook app. When you download the Barstool Sportsbook app, register, and wager, you can get up to $1,000 bonus cash, plus up to $1,000 when you sign up and wager in person at Hollywood Casino Perryville. Play from anywhere and get up to $2,000. The choice is yours. Must be in the state of Maryland to wager and over 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER. By Jack Daniel's, 2 legends, 1 can. Jack and Coke, the #1 cocktail in the world, is now available in a can. Yes, that's true. Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey, mixed with Coca-Cola or Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, are now both available in a can. 2 legends, 1 can. Jack and Coke, ready to drink? Please drink responsibly. Whiskey Specialty, 7% alcohol by volume. Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey, Lynchburg, Tennessee. By G-Leaf, medical cannabis only. Visit gleaf.com. Medical cannabis is for qualified Maryland patients only. The Adam Jones Podcast is brought to you by Royal Farms. Download the Royal Farms app from the Apple App Store or Google Play today. New Royal Farms Rewards members will get a free any-size cup of Royal Farms award-winning coffee just for signing up. Royal Farms, real fresh, real fast.
Man, sure smells like Royal Farms fried chicken.
Best fast food fried chicken in America. You ever try it? Hey, you hungry? Royal Farms world famous chicken. If you haven't tried it, you don't know what you're missing.
And a reminder, if you guys are enjoying this podcast, make sure to check out the Baltimore Banner at thebaltimorebanner.com/AJ to get started. Again, that's thebaltimorebanner.com/AJ to get 6 months of unlimited digital access for only $1.
Now we're back with our conversation with Orioles left fielder Austin Hayss here on the Adam Jones Podcast. I mean, there's so many strengths with this team. I don't know if you can identify just one. To me, it's a camaraderie, the way you guys get along. There's no sacred cow on the team. I've covered the Orioles for a long time where there's been guys on the team that maybe are unapproachable. You don't seem to have that inside your clubhouse. Obviously, everyone points to the bullpen, but what do you see as the overall strength of the Orioles?
I think our pitching and defense is definitely the strength of the team. I think our offense is timely. We can get hot at times, but we're not going out there and blowing teams out 8-1 and giving our pitching staff a day off, day in and day out. Our bullpen they're getting used a lot. So pitching and defense is the strength of our team. That's what we ride or die on, and then we keep ourselves in the game and put some good at bats together late. For some reason, it seems like we hit a lot better off late inning guys in the bullpen. Something that we did really well last year too. So those late inning close games and pitching and defense. That's the strength of this team for whatever reason.
I called you guys the Band of Bandits. I tweeted it out just because obviously the closer's coming into Omar. Like, we want to talk about a bandit. But you guys, again, I've said this for the first, you can attest to it. Sometimes for the first 6 innings, where are we? The last 3 innings, we figure it out. Again, the game's not over until the fat lady sings. You get I'd say probably the last 162 games, you guys have played the most competitive last 3 outs of any ball game every year. I mean, in the last year. Nothing is given away. Even if you guys are losing, you're down, whatever, you're bringing the tie and run to the plate. It's the competitiveness that the fans love, that the people love, I love, everybody loves, because it's like, even, and you can probably attest to it too, even if you guys do lose the game, that even if you brought the guy up, you're like, damn, we had that game. You didn't lose. You find reason to be like, we should have won that game, opposed to be like, yeah, excuses, opposed to be like, all right, okay, that situation right there, we got to be better in it. And that's what's called adjustments. That's maturity. That's how you play winning baseball and winning attitude. And again, everything you said is winning baseball. You and said are the catalysts for winning baseball right now, and everybody is following. You got Adley, obviously he gets the forefront and steals the thunder, but he's following you guys. You're not following him. He's following you guys.
Yeah, I mean, everything you said there is 100% spot on. We had conversations last year where we were trying to figure that out. Like, why are our at-bats so much better in the late innings compared to what they are in the first 5 innings against a starter? Like, what are we doing differently? Because if we can make some type of adjustment to do more of that earlier in the game, we'd win way more games. So that's conversations we've had, and I don't know what it is. I think it's just the competitive side. It's like the more your back feels against the wall and the closer the end of the game's getting, it raises you up a notch. And for some reason, our hitters are performing well in that situation, those scenarios right now. But Seth and I just try to show up every day, put our work in, go about things the right way. We know how quickly it can turn around, how quickly you can end up back in the minor league. So there's always that little thought that's like, no, I don't have it completely figured out. I got to show up every day with something to learn, something to prove, something to show everybody. So I don't think we're quite to that veteran status like how Jonesy was when him and I first came up. But we just try to go about our business the right way and, lead by example and just make sure we're being as pro as we possibly can every day.
And you have the right perspective, because you guys were knocking at my door. You guys, it's never a forced one out, but you guys were knocking at my door, making everybody's clock. I was knocking at Jeremy Reed's door. Jeremy Reed was knocking at someone else's door. You have a plethora of guys knocking at your door. So many guys were knocking at mine. It's like, that's what keeps you humble. That's what I love about the game. It keeps you hungry every day, because in the minors, you can read it. It's tweets now. Rock is probably in the clubhouse like, oh, did you hear about this guy? You know what I mean? So keep that mentality, because that will keep you in the big leagues. It will keep you humble the entire time. I want to shift things about, obviously, the grind of the game, but the relaxation of the game. Recent road trip, you guys out in Milwaukee, fishing.
San Francisco, too.
San Fran. Get around San Fran. Care about San Fran. Some good wins out there. Some really good wins. But San Fran's good Chinese food, some good places. But I like the relaxation of Milwaukee, of Wisconsin, getting out there on the lake, getting out there fishing. I did that. I played A-ball in Appleton, and I like that environment. So explain that to us. Just some of your hobbies in the off days when you're on the road.
Yeah, first time coming to Milwaukee this trip. So it was my first time going to San Fran also. So we got the Mark II off the list. We got to go on a fishing charter yesterday. Keegan Aiken got some family that's close to here. So he's got some family friends that had a charter. So they were able to take us out yesterday on Lake Michigan. So we were fishing for some steelhead, some rainbow trout, some cohos. And it was very interesting because I've been offshore fishing in Florida. I got some friends that they live in Ponce Inlet there, and anytime they go deep sea, they'll take me with them. And it was very interesting to be fishing in a similar style of what you do offshore, but in a lake. Like you got, 12 rods out, and you're running some on top water, you're running some like 20 feet under the water, but you're just running around in the middle of a lake with like offshore Shimano rods. An interesting thought to me. So it was cool. We killed them. We think we were one short of our limit. So we had a really good time. There's 4 of us that went.
That's awesome. Now shift that to there was the family dynamic where there was 2. Now there's 4. How's that off day in Baltimore when the wife definitely it ain't no wife taking over, the baby's taking over, changing diapers, the early diapers, the afternoon diapers, the midday nap that you take with your wife. How's that dynamic also?
Yeah, I used to do a lot more laying around and just kind of relaxing, and then maybe get dressed up and go have a nice dinner at night. But now it's a lot of like kids TV shows and hanging out on the couch with them, go to the park, we're out in the sun hanging out, and then come back for a nap. Sometimes, not every off day, but sometimes we'll usually get a babysitter, and the wife and I will go back to how it was when there was 2 of us instead of 4. Make sure she's getting her time, show how much she's appreciated. So try to make sure we set some time aside for her on the off days, make sure she gets to get dressed up, go out,
Right.
feel like a human being again.
And very smart. And we should mention all the credit really does go to your wife in terms of the silent auction that you put together recently. Tell us about how that went and what the cause was all about.
Yeah, it went really well. All but one item was sold. So it was a really big success.
What's the one item that didn't get sold? Adam will purchase it.
It was my single batting glove.
There you go. Adam will pay a price.
Why the hell do you wear the top one? Most people wear the bottom one. Like,
no,
you're
because
opposite of Gary Gaetti. Like,
no, it was when I went to bun off Kluber like a month and a half ago. That heater hit my finger and it like blew out the backside. So we were having to put steri strips on there and tape it, and they wanted me to make sure I kept it covered. So
I got a good Kluber story. I was trying to bun off him also, grazed my knuckle. I'm bleeding underneath. I took my batting glove off, showed the umpire. It was my middle finger, so of course I bent these fingers back a little bit more as I got closer to him. And the skin was peeled off backwards. He was like, nope, nowhere, foul ball. Then he was striking out. I got tossed. I called him my mother a couple times. Small. Stop butting off Kluber. Swing.
That sinker's just so nasty. It moves so late. I was like, oh, it's middle end. The next thing I know, it's destroying my finger. Oh my God.
I want to talk about the charitable part because you're the 2022 Orioles representative for the Heart and Hustle. I was a recipient of it a few times. It's a very dear award to me, and it shows that it's just more to you than just the guy who's on the field who can do it, who can swing it. What does it mean to you as a Heart and Hustle Award recipient for last year?
It just means that I'm willing to step outside the game and things that are comfortable. You just show up to the field, you play the game, you go home. I think it just shows the willingness to do more outside of that and use some of the platforms and the people that come along with the Orioles organization, the Orioles uniform, you get to use them to try to make a difference in somebody's life. I know last year we were able to put together a scholarship for students in Baltimore. So my wife and I read through all of the essays that people put in and told their stories. So Fatima was our first ever winner. You know, her life story really touched us, and we got to make sure we helped her out with bold.org last year and combining for a scholarship for her. And then the Yes Foundation was something that my wife was really close with because she used to babysit this girl, Maddie, growing up a lot. She was best friends with Sam's sister. And Maddie, unfortunately, lost her battle with mental illness, but she had started a foundation called Youth Emotional Support. So her mom, Rose, and her dad, Joe, took over Maddie's foundation, and they've been doing a lot in our community back home. So we wanted to try to do something with them up here and use the Orioles organization to just help us with that. And now they're partnering with another youth group up here called Terra Baltimore. So it's really cool to see things like that come full circle where, you know, they were close family friends back home that were doing something that was really great and we wanted to be a part of it. And now we get to see that intertwine with our community in Baltimore and just somewhere they probably never would have gone if Sam and I wouldn't have been willing to step outside of our comfort zone of what we do at the field and, you know, try to just help them keep going with their passion and making a difference in kids' lives. So, yeah, things like that. That's what it means. Just willingness to step outside of your lane, you know?
Yep. A great
100%.
cause and terrific way to utilize your platform in the proper way. All right, we're going to debate this. This is my final question. I know you've been waiting for me to say that. Adam still has one. We're going to debate this a little later in the show. So let's get your 2 cents right now. The wave. I mean, the wave began before you were in high school, and we're seeing it still at Camden Yards.
Born.
It annoys me. It's a distraction for me from the game. How do you feel about the wave?
The wave's great.
Oh, come on, Austin.
The wave is great. It's a way. There are moments in the game where it just gets dead. The fans get dead. It gets quiet. But they start standing up. They're spilling their beer. They're throwing stuff in the air. It gets them going again. It gets the stadium lively. Then they start putting something on the jumbo board. They get them chanting. It gets them riled back up.
Yes,
That's
what I'm
we
talking
need.
about.
That's
All
why
right,
you
now
got
here's-
Mr. Splash now. That's what Mr.
Now.
Splash is for, to energize the crowd.
We don't have Mr. Splash when we're on defense.
Well, that's true.
That's
Does the
only when
wave
we're on
the wave
offense.
really inspires you to play harder defense? This is breaking news.
No, but it gets the umpires in the game. It starts getting loud. They're like, oh, and then a close call. They punch them out on strike 3 because they feel the energy of the stadium.
Okay, got you.
Hey, Jerry's the get off my lawn guy, so don't worry about him.
40 years
Final
of the
question.
wave is enough for me. I'd like to see it
Yeah.
roll out like a tsunami.
No. Final question. Are you truly pissed when you strike out, when you get out? When you walk back to the dugout, you look like a 90s attitude era wrestler, like, mother.
Yeah. I try to keep my composure as much as I can. I don't know how well I do at it, but I try my best. But yeah, there's definitely strikeouts too. Strikeouts they get me, man. I hate them.
Men in scoring position. Come on, just put it in play.
Second, third, less than 2 outs. 3-2 count. You chase ball 4. Oh,
Ooh. Pop up.
The worst.
Oh.
Pop out to the catcher. You're just watching your life end right in front of you. Like, oh, no.
Oh man! All right, get back to your day, man. Get to your day, brother.
And go. Everyone go out and vote for Austin Hayss to be a member of the All-Star team. Well deserved. You got our vote. We can vote multiple times too. There's no limit on the ballots. Austin, do appreciate your time. Thanks for being here.
Thank you,
guys
man.
are very welcome. No problem. Thanks for having me on.
Continue to grind.
Well, that was very interesting, Adam, because there's another guy who's been on the podcast, whose paths you crossed early in his career, late in your career. Any memories that stand out? First time you met Austin Hayss?
Yeah, he's knocking on my damn door. Like I said, I didn't want to say he was pushing me out because I was still on my grind, but every other report, because I got the reports of the minor leaguers, especially the outfielders, and you see Hayss, Mullins. These guys coming up. I'm like, well, damn, okay. And then Buck just hear Hayss, Mullins, and AAA. I'm like, hey, we're doing this, but Duquette, hey, we trying to move. We might move you to right. These dudes can play. Hey, that's part of the game. I came up. That's what keeps you hungry. That's what kept me hungry. And to see him and Cedric, like he said, to see them battle through the terrible years to the great years, that reminds me of me and Markakis battling through. We didn't grow up in the minors together, but we were in the big leagues together when we were just getting our teeth kicked in to when we had some success. So to see just a maturation from, from the rookie to the father of two and hopefully he keeps continuing to grind and we can get him to that All-Star game and beyond. It's just that's baseball. You look at every year to year, it's a grind. Every year to year, no matter what, anything can happen. And he has the right formula of somebody's on my ass. I need to keep it hot.
Well, let's keep it moving here on the Adam Jones podcast. And right now we go beyond Baltimore, and we can talk about the NBA Finals, and we will briefly here because of the fact that they're going back to Miami, and then they're going back to Denver. The Lakers are gone. I had the Celtics. They were gone. I had the Bucks before that. They're gone. So now I'm a Nuggets fan.
You're allowed to change. It's okay. Hey, ride with whoever you want to ride with. I'm sure the fan bases appreciate more bandwagon people, and the market appreciates the merchandise.
Your thoughts on the finals and the way things have gone? Obviously, they continue as this podcast continues. I have the Nuggets now winning in 6 or 7.
I think the biggest thing about it is that the world stage is really getting to see Jokic. They're getting to see him play. Denver does not get primetime games during the regular season unless they're playing the Lakers, the Clippers, maybe the East Coast, but they are not a primetime team just because the market and the Lakers take up the time slots and the Warriors. But I think everybody's right now is getting to see how unbelievable he is. Again, Joel Embiid won the MVP. Jokic won the last 2. You can't argue Embiid was the MVP this year. They're both unbelievable. You can't argue it. But a lot more people got to see Embiid play a lot more just because sheer time. I'm not staying up in the East Coast. I'm not staying up too late to watch the games. I'm tired. It just is what it is. 11, 12 o'clock is what it is. I'm tired. But the world's getting to see Jokic play. And also, everybody's getting to see how tough of a SOB Jimmy Butler is. Yeah. And it's just 2 teams with unbelievable will. They're not, again, you can say star power with those 2 names, but beyond that, those guys are just, they have a bunch of guys who just grind it out and make tough shots, play tough defense, make it hell and miserable for everybody around them. And this is why you watch the game. This is what you want out of basketball, out of any sport. You want a competitive finals, and right now we have it. I got to go in 7. I don't care what you say. I got to go in 7 just because I think it should go 7. It needs to go 7. It just needs to go 7 just because of how hard fought and competitive it is.
Yeah, we'll talk more about it next week. I would make the debate that Jokic deserved the MVP during the regular season, but I understand you get buried in the mountain time, so that happens. All right, we could debate that all day, but instead,
you just won 2.
I understand there's room for 3. But
Mike.
Again, we could talk about it when he's up for the award next week, when he's about to win the MVP of the finals. So we'll get there at some point.
It's the Jerry versus Jonesy debate.
Now, speaking of debates, it's been a while since we've had a Jerry versus Jones debate, but it's about time we brought it back. And we know that one of our biggest sponsors, our friend Dennis Wyman, loves it when we argue and debate and fight each other. Unfortunately, as I mentioned at the top of the podcast, we're without the judge today, Reggie Fugit. He's dealing, with family first. And, he's a daddy and you're an uncle, as you said. But we got talking off the podcast, and I saw a tweet which I put out on behalf of the podcast, defaming the wave, okay? The wave is old. It's tiresome. It goes back to the 80s. I was having an 80s flashback. I was at a game with Reggie a few weeks ago. Shohei Ohtani and the Angels are in town, and the wave begins, and Reggie asked me if I'm going to get up and participate. Hell no. No, I'm not there for that. I'm there to see the baseball game, okay? To me, it's a distraction. actually disturbing and pathetic that it's still around here in 2023. It's a distraction from the baseball game. I don't know how you feel about it, having played with it, but when you're at the plate, is it better than when you're in the outfield? And why do you enjoy it so much? Why do you embrace it? Because you liked it when you were 12?
Well, first off, you're like how you described the wave. You described Jerry Coleman,
I don't know how to interpret
outdated 80s. That's you. You described yourself. Okay,
I'll take
all
that.
right. You described. You have to
And
understand.
I'll take it as a
wave,
compliment.
To me. I'm younger than you, so therefore, the wave when I came into the ballparks as a teenager, the wave was legit. Like, what are they doing? Like, oh, everybody's going crazy. Then I become a professional athlete, and I get to be involved with the wave. I be at center field. I'm telling you, you can go. I'm not sure how much video it is out there, but there's videos of everything, and you can see the waves home and road. I'm watching it. I see it going. Every single time I go with it because I think it's awesome. Fans think it's awesome. Just me. It gets the fans going. It can get a rally going. You never know. It's just one of those things that, as I get it, to me, it's a unique vantage point to see just a big row. It's like dominoes, a big row, just keep going. You know what I mean? Like dominoes falling, just sit down.
Yeah.
It's from my vantage point, sitting in center field, it was always like amazing. Again, as a fan growing up as a kid, it was amazing to join it. Being able to join it just briefly, obviously, as a center fielder, it was great. But just seeing just the cohesiveness of it was amazing. But the best part to me was when I'm on the bench and I can hear the person trying to fire start it, though. He's like, the lady, it's been plenty of women too, which has been great. They'd be like, let's go. And they're like, come on, just talking crap to all the people who don't want to participate. Like, it to me, it's part of it's. You want to talk about you're there to enjoy the game. You're also there to enjoy fan participation. So what? You only going to clap it? So okay, if there's a big home run, are you going to high five the guy next to you? Or are you just going to sit there and just clap boringly? Or are you going to be like, yeah? That's the wave, and it's a cohesive show of the hell if I know. Really,
There's got to be an end to it.
It's a wave.
We're 40 years into this
keep the
thing.
wave. Keep the wave going. I don't know who started the wave. It probably was some people similar who started that damn cup thing that keeps going up. I think that's awesome. Also, especially at Camden, they can probably go to the second deck if they got enough.
They got the splash zone at Camden.
But
you don't need
splash zone too. They need more. No, splash zone is something unique. The wave is to all 30. Splash zone is for Baltimore. And it's going to come in handy because it's hot. It's about to start getting warm out there. So hopefully there's a lot of extra base hits and people can get wet and lathered up. And they might need to put a little more power so that it extends, because some people that maybe not paid the extra money going to be like, damn, can you just throw a little bit more water on me?
Well, we've heard from you. We heard what Austin Hayss had to say about it as well. I guess you guys embrace it out there in the outfield. I'd like to see the wave move away like a tsunami out of town. Just wash away.
Come on. No,
and never to be seen again, because to me, it's a distraction from the baseball game itself. It's like, okay, the baseball game's not interesting enough for you.
What's a distraction? You sit
watch
up,
the game. Stay in your seat. Watch the game until someone does something positive.
More of a distraction is some person getting in front of you and blocking your view for that pitch. That's more of a distraction.
Right.
This is not a distraction. Standing up and be like, yeah, that's more of a distraction. But again, how you described it first is how you described Jerry Coleman.
It's a generational thing. I think we'll agree on that.
A bore.
All right. Let's head to Socially Speaking right now, which isn't a bore. And wow, we got a doozy this week as we put a bow and tie on this bad boy with a fascinating edition. This is where we answer a tweet or social media post. This week it arrived in the form of a tweet and then an email. And you can email us, theadamjonespod@gmail.com. If you're unable to get on social media, you think it's accessible like most people, theadamjonespod@gmail.com. That's our official email. Our correspondence comes from the guy named Bowman. He's at Ravens23 David, and he writes, "Hi, Jerry. First off, I love the podcast. I've been a listener since day one. Thank you for replying to my Twitter message. with your email address. I have a funny Adam Jones story. Well, funny to our family anyhow. This story in no way disparages Adam about autographs, meeting fans, etc. I had explained to my daughter that baseball players are working, and we're at their workplace and have to respect that. So he moved to Tucson, Arizona in July of 2019 after spending his entire life in Birdland. When Adam signed with the Diamondbacks, he was elated. Always his favorite player during his tenure in B-More. One day he goes out to a Diamondbacks game in Phoenix with his daughter, who was 6 at the time, decided to dress up in their Orioles gear, make an effort to get an autograph and talk to Adam before the game. They arrived early, got a great spot in front while the players were performing their warm-ups. We saw Adam calling out and waving to him in order to get his attention for quite a long time. My daughter had a baseball for him to sign when the players completed their warm-ups, and it was time to go to our seats. Adam ran into the dugout. My daughter, I feel like I'm reading a Casey Kasem letter. That's a little outdated reference, by the way.
Exactly. I know Casey Kasem, Saved by the Bell.
My daughter broke down and cried. I shouldn't be laughing at this, but she kept saying he was our friend. We were supposed to meet him at the game. She repeatedly said, if he's our friend, why didn't he come over? And he had to explain to her that they didn't personally know you. They were fans of his, just hoping to get your attention. I'm trying to shorten this letter for the audience. Took a while to get her to understand, but it's a story that they laugh about now. And he attached the photo that if you're watching our YouTube version, you can see of you and him at a Ravens tailgate in 2012. He ends by saying, keep up the good work on the podcast. It's terrific. And thank you, David Bennett, for that email. Do you remember any of that?
I don't personally remember the that incident, but I will just say we all as athletes or individuals have douchebag moments.
Yep.
I probably would say that. Slap dick moments. That's one of my favorite terms. Maybe this is one of them where, how easy is it to just go over there? But 2019, I don't think I was too happy with the black and orange. So if I seen it, it was kind of like red. But no, this I think to me is a simple case in point of one of the douchebag moments athletes go through. This is easy to do. Go sign. This is easy to take a picture with the girl. If you're in a different uniform and someone shows up in your former uniform, that probably means that they liked you previously.
Yeah,
you bastard.
They're loyal.
So
They're loyal.
I think this is probably one of those douchebag moments of my career. So, but he said we met at previously, so probably in good graces early. And then he'd probably tell his daughter that, as she get older, hopefully he was like, something different. But probably I would just say this is probably one of those douchebag moments of my career where I could have easily just simply just been like, well, there's the only damn Orioles jersey around. Duh. Like, simply, I would really throw, throughout the 19 season, I would throw balls out to, when I seen Orioles fans on the road, or I would throw balls, especially in AL parks. They knew I would come. I would throw balls to Orioles fans. This I think is just one of those douchebag moments that athletes go through where they could have easily been avoided, especially
I've seen it before with
a
you.
kid in general.
Yeah, it won't be the last time either with you.
No, sure it won't.
We'll end it on that. We want to thank our loyal and dedicated sponsors for making this podcast possible. Adam loves you out there. He's not going to be a prima donna with you. So support our sponsors.
The Adam Jones Podcast with Adam Jones and Jerry Coleman will be live, and you can be part of the audience and meet Adam for the first time since he played for the O's. It all goes down on Thursday, July 27th at 8 p.m. Doors open at 7, and tickets are limited, but now on sale. Go to BaltimoreSoundstage.com or Ticketmaster.com or call 410-244-0057 to be a part of the action. This will be the first time Adam and Jerry have done the podcast in the same spot, and who knows, maybe the last. So don't miss this unique night. The Adam Jones Podcast, live at Soundstage July 27th. See you there. The Adam Jones Podcast is brought to you by Be More Around Town. Be More Around Town is reminding you that football season is around the corner. # Purple Road Trip. Be More Around Town's trips are all-inclusive. Airfare, hotel parties, special guest tours, and more. They're all ready for the Ravens game in London. They have over 300 deposits. Just pack your bags, get your passport, and meet them at the airport. Besides London calling, Be More Around Town also has road trips for all away games. Arizona, LA, San Francisco, Jacksonville, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Cincy. Head to BeMoreAroundTown.com and find a # Purple Road Trip for you and your friends and family. BeMoreAroundTown.com. By our good friends at the Weinman Company. By Hollywood Casino Perryville. For some, it's a game of chance, but for you, it's a game of choice. Hollywood and Barstool are bringing you more ways to bet in Maryland. Catch all the action in person at Hollywood Casino Perryville at the Barstool Sportsbook, or bet online with the Barstool Sportsbook app. When you download the Barstool Sportsbook app, register, and wager, you can get up to $1,000 bonus cash, plus up to $1,000 when you sign up and wager in person at Hollywood Casino Perryville. Play from anywhere and get up to $2,000. The choice is yours. Must be in the state of Maryland to wager and over 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER. By Jack Daniels, 2 legends, 1 can. Jack and Coke, the #1 cocktail in the world, is now available in a can. Yes, that's true. Jack Daniels Tennessee Whiskey, mixed with Coca-Cola or Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, are now both available in a can. 2 legends, 1 can. Jack and Coke, ready to drink? Please drink responsibly. Whiskey Specialty, 7% alcohol by volume. Jack Daniels Tennessee Whiskey, Lynchburg, Tennessee. By G-Leaf, medical cannabis only. Visit gleaf.com. Medical cannabis is for qualified Maryland patients only. The Adam Jones Podcast is brought to you by Royal Farms. Download the Royal Farms app from the Apple App Store or Google Play today. New Royal Farms Rewards members will get a free any-size cup of Royal Farms award-winning coffee just for signing up. Royal Farms, real fresh, real fast.
Man, sure smells like Royal Farms fried chicken.
Best fast food fried chicken in America. You ever try it? Hey, you hungry? Royal Farms world famous chicken. If you haven't tried it, you don't know what you're missing.
And a reminder, if you guys are enjoying this podcast, make sure to check out the Baltimore Banner at thebaltimorebanner.com/AJ to get started. Again, that's thebaltimorebanner.com/AJ to get 6 months of unlimited digital access for only $1.
Also, much gratitude to our senior executive producer, a man of few words, except if you're on a Zoom call with him. He's Chip Franklin, doing a great job putting this episode together. Go out, get your tickets for July 27th. We'll be live at the Soundstage in Baltimore. One night only. The Orioles are off that night. Until then, be kind, be real, and be back next week. And remember, apply sunscreen. And we'll see you for another edition, number 34 of the Adam Jones Podcast. See you next week.